This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Halas Hall Report. And it's just me and Woody today. Good evening, Woody. How you doing?
I got wood.
So it's that time of year. Mike's probably on a rooftop somewhere with some emergency. Someone's probably leaking with all the rain they're having up there in the Chicago Rockford area. But we had mini camp this week so far, 2 days of it, 3 days of it. I don't know. Can we put much stock into what happens at minicamp?
You know my answer about that. No, like I said before, it's, but I can admit, though, when Caleb Williams got benched, for OTAs a couple of days ago, he has been coming on strong. I think yesterday he was 7 on 7 or 7 for 7.
Did you see that off-platform jump shot pass he threw? I was like, oh, this is going to be an interesting year.
Right. And today, surprised the shit out of me. He threw a bomb in stride to Velus Jones, which thank God he didn't get hit because he probably would have fumbled.
Yeah, and really the only thing that comes newsworthy out of these things is usually when they do the interviews post-practice. So, Keenan Allen yesterday saying he was open to coming back, but waiting to see how the season plays. But then he referenced, Justin Jefferson's contract and how the market, has been changed. So that, I don't know, money-wise, if the Bears would bring him back next year, even if he has a good year. Those are, to me, the more newsworthy things that come out of minicamp and the OTAs. Is some of the reactions from other stuff in the league that when they talk to our guys. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? You think if Keenan Allen's actually getting paid $18 million this year, even though his cap hits 32, I mean, is he worth? Would you bring him back for $18 million again next year if he has a good year?
Not for $18 million, no. I mean, I guess his press conference. I don't know if it was today or yesterday.
Yesterday,
he said he said that. Wow, it's going to be a race for 1,000 yards between who gets it first, me or DJ Moore.
Yeah. I mean, if he has, let's say, a 1,200-yard season, 1,300 yards, somewhere in there, what would your price be that you'd be comfortable if you're the GM to bring him back for another year in Chicago?
Oh, jeez. I would do – what's his contract for this year? 1 year what?
18 mil is what his paycheck is, but he's 32 mil on the cap.
And he's how old? 31, 32?
Yeah.
I would go the most. I would go 2-year contract, maybe 2-year, 25 million, 26 million, around that range there.
So about 12 to 13 mil a year.
Yeah. That's if he gets that 1,000 yards. Now, if he's like 500-600 yards, 700 yards with 5-6 touchdowns, no, not 18 million a year. No way.
No, I don't think 18. I think he got his payday, but I think like 12 to anywhere from 12 to 15, depending on how the numbers play, would be respectable, and he might sign that because then we got to spend, next offseason we also got to pay DJ Moore. Because it's the last year.
I would clearly pay DJ Moore, even if he has like 800-900 yards this year. I would still pay DJ Moore to keep him in a Bears uniform.
Yeah, because next year DJ's due. Keenan would be due, obviously. And DJ's not due because he's got another year in the contract, but you know how it goes. The extension
Right.
is now. So, he'll get his extension, which means next year he'll still be on the player friendly. And depending on how they structure the deal, he might get a pay bump for next year while still staying out. So, because that's like with the golf contract. Remember, at first it was $48 million a year, but after they figured everything out, it was like 45 or something like that because some of it gets this year. But I think Keenan and DJ are the two biggest. Oh, Tevin Jenkins needs to be signed. He's gonna need a contract.
He should be staying healthy this year to even think about that.
That's what he said. They asked him today, and so his team, he said, reached out to the Bears. Nothing's on the table yet, and he said, his number one priority for this year is to stay healthy. First and foremost, stay healthy. Because when he's healthy, he's good.
Yep.
So he's going to be due. So that's three guys right off the top that we probably need to re-sign. Probably think if there's anyone else. Linebackers are good for another year.
Yep.
Was anyone on a 3-year contract though? I think we did Edwards and Edmonds. Those were 4-year. What's Sanborn? Was that a 4-year deal?
Yeah, let me see here.
Sanborn might be due.
Let's see.
Herbert might be due.
Yeah, it's his 5th year, right? Next year?
No, 4th year. Or this will be his 3rd year. This is I think his 3rd or his 4th.
I think it's his 4th.
So, but Herbert wasn't number one. But Herbert probably won't be nearly as expensive.
Yeah, Sanborn, he signed in 2022. Let's see. Doesn't really say his contract. Let me look again. Let's see. Sanborn. Okay, bear with me here. Yeah, this is his 3 years. This is his last year, Sanborn.
Yep, so Sanborn is going to be due. All right, so Keenan Allen is going to be due. Tevin Jenkins is going to be due. Khalil Herbert is going to be due. We said Sanborn. Basson Game is due.
And we have a couple of
Scales is due, but he'll get his $1 million whatever. Coleman Shelton is due. Ongo Banga Miga, whatever, he's due. Travis Homer is due.
Yeah, we have a bunch of one-year contracts only.
Borum is due. Jacob Martin, okay. Matt Pryor.
Jalen Jones.
Dante Pettis is due. Khalid Kareem is due. Jalen Jones is
Backup quarterback Rippon is only on a year. Tavarius Moore.
Yeah.
Khalid Kareem.
Adrian Colbert.
Stroman.
Devante Collins. We got 35 players. Not all of them will come back.
Yeah.
Tavarius Moore, Colin Johnson.
Yeah, the tallest
Webster.
receiver. Yeah, tallest receiver in the league. We got him from the Giants.
Stephen Carlson. Well, Corliss Waitman won't even be on the roster this year as the punter. I'll drop off. Josh Blackwell. That's a guy we'll probably want to re-sign. Doug Kramer, Bill Murray, Douglas Coleman III, Jerome Carvin, Cameron Lyons. Don't even have a picture of the dude, just a helmet. So, I mean, some of the 35, but there's probably about 5 or 6 guys of the 35 that probably need to be re-signed. The rest are kind of like depth filler guys, and they're probably cheap. So, really, I think we've got like 50 or 60 mil next year in cap space. So it could be a little interesting to try to keep them together because in the following year, then we got to start re-signing Edmonds and those, and we're going to have Brisker and those guys because this is year 3.
Yep.
On those guys. So really next coming to camp next year, they're looking for their extensions too. So there's definitely some money that needs to be spent with this team next year. If they happen to go deep in the playoffs, that's going to make it a nightmare to sign guys. This is one of those things like you want us to do well, we want to win the Super Bowl, but if we do, we know that some guys might if we don't do that, we might sign long term. Now we won't. Does that that may because Super Bowl winning the Super Bowl makes price tags go way up.
Yeah, this is the year though. I mean, we were supposed to be last year. You know what I mean?
This is the playoff year. We have to be in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Yep.
We have to be in the playoffs. And let us know in the comments what you guys think too. I mean, what for you guys, what's a successful season? What's an unsuccessful season? Is saying that the Bears are in a conversation to win the Super Bowl crazy? I mean, what's out there? I mean, I don't want to get ahead of it. Is he going to have a Big Ben year? Is Caleb Williams the next Big Ben rookie to win to win a Super Bowl as a rookie? It's happened. It's not impossible. This team is stacked on both sides of the ball. So what's holding this Bears team back, if not Caleb Williams?
It's not coaching either. I mean, we got a bunch of new coaches there besides the head coach. So coaching is not going to be an excuse. We have an experienced offensive coordinator in there. Even if our defensive coordinator struggles, you got Eberflus to back him up a little bit.
Well, I think Eberflus is still calling the plays, isn't he?
We'll see. I'm not saying that he is, but I mean, with the Bears having the 3rd, 4th weakest schedule in the league, if you don't do this year, get far, like I said, even a 9-8 season, I think is a fail for me. And I said the Bears will be 10-7 this year, even with their weak schedule.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we don't have any division games until week 11 is kind of weird. But then like 6 of our last 8 are in the division. We catch Arizona and San Francisco are the other 2. I mean, that's probably not an easy look. I mean, because the North is going to be the North could send 3 teams to the playoffs this year. The North is going to be good, I think, overall.
Yeah. Clearly the North is probably going to be the best division in the NFC, at least.
I think people are sleeping on the Vikings. I mean, people are talking about the Bears because of Caleb, but I think they're sleeping on the Vikings. I was telling Ken from the morning show, I said, don't be surprised if the Vikings win the division. They got a team that could win the division. I mean, their biggest issue is what? Quarterback. Okay, got it. But if Sam Darnold's even halfway decent with the rest of that team, they're in play for the division. I think the 2 teams that have the highest, that could really be in for a letdown might be Detroit and Green Bay.
Yeah, it depends on the Jordan Love if he has a sophomore slump. You never know; it could happen.
Well, their defense, they're switching schemes.
I know Packers fans say, hell no, but you never know.
Well, they're switching schemes, and most teams that they're going from 3-4 to 4-3. Yeah, at least a season. It took us a season and a half. It took the Lions about a season and change. It took the Vikings a season. But they seem to think they're going to be a top 15 defense this year. It's like, dude, you were 25 last year. If you get to 20, that's a success.
Yep.
That would be immensely successful if they get to 20. Odds are they're still going to be around 25-ish in defense because it's that transition is going to kill them for the first half of the year, minimum.
Yep.
But they seem to think, well, because we're so young, we're not going to be effective. It's like, that's a year, minimum, a year. And offense, and then they'll come back to, but you have a new offensive coordinator. Installing a new offense is a lot easier than installing a new defense.
Yep.
I would say
even with a new defense and stuff like that, some teams, if that defense is like Chicago the last couple of years, it was on the field more than the offense was. That'll tire an offense down, and it'll tire a defense down. So,
well, that's the other thing. They say Jordan Love's contract will be done before camp. Good for them, right? We'll see what that money is. But then, Jordan Love last year when they were pinned within their 20 was terrible. 3 and out consistently. Well, like with our new kicker, we got him to do just that. With the new kickoff rules, they might find themselves pinned within the 20 more than not. So that says their defense might be on the field a lot more this season than last season.
Yep. And congrats. I wanted to bring this up. Congrats. I knew this is no surprise, probably. Hopefully Nick Green's listening. Our boy Nick's named the starter already for Denver.
Is that a surprise, though?
Yeah, I did. I know it wasn't a surprise, but I just wanted to bring it up.
Good evening, Yoli. I mean, I remember I was in Denver. I flew into Denver on the first night of the draft, and there was a guy on my flight. He was a Broncos fan. I said, "So, what do you guys think about the MILF Hunter?" And he's like, "I don't know why we got him." And oh geez, you gotta love Yoli. She goes, "Look at my 2 favorite Care Bears."
Wow.
And but they were happy with the pick.
Is she talking about her brothers?
Yeah, your brother. I mean, your brothers aren't your favorite Care Bears. All 6 of them you have, or 7 of them? Yeah. I tell you, good old Yoli just. So Yoli, I was saying, the Packers are the Packers think they're going to be fighting for the division. I wouldn't be surprised if they're fighting to stay out of the basement. And I still think they could win 10 games, 8, 9, 10 games. But that defense is going to hurt them. And if they get with the new kicking rules, if they get pinned within their 20 and Love can't figure it out, and their whole thing with the wide receiver by committee up there, she's talking about us, Woody. We're the favorite. Now we beat her brothers out. That's outstanding. Yeah. If I also wonder about Green Bay fans think, oh, we're a receiver by committee. Yoli's agreeing with us. Don't tell that. Hey, Yoli, I won't tell Ken or Rob you are, because they seem to think that the receiver by committee thing up there is perfect, that there'll be no drop off, and that the Green Bay, there's no way they could be fighting for the basement. But honestly, between changing the defensive scheme, which we know takes at least a season, this receiver by committee, last year LaFleur did great things with them, but now we got a full season of tape. And these guys aren't great receivers. They're just opportunistic when put in great positions. And their tight end is nothing special. So, I mean, and see, Yoli's one of the few, right? That she's a true loyal, but she'll speak truth.
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers really, they could be fighting. Last year, I think they overachieved a little bit. They surprised some people. You take that plus Minnesota collapsing after Kirk Cousins, that's why they're in the playoffs. And then Detroit, well, we don't need to remind people what happened to us in 2019 after we had a big year winning the division the year before. Didn't do much in the offseason. But if you listen to certain Lions fans, everything they drafted was the best in the draft. So, they had the best players in the NFL in Detroit, according to some.
Well, they just they boosted up their defensive line. DJ Readers, their defense is going to be, subtract their defensive backfield. I think they still need one more good linebacker to back up Campbell, but their front is going to be a good this year. So
you know what's funny about the corner they drafted in the first round? They think he's good enough to match up on DJ, Keenan, or Rome straight up.
Of course.
Like he's going to X them out. It's like, dude, come on. Really? I mean, come on.
Of course.
So, kind of interesting, the division, but people are sleeping on Minnesota. And I get it, because, I mean, would you be excited if you're looking at Sam Darnold as your starter or J.J. McCarthy right now?
Nope.
Their defense, though. Their defense.
Yep.
And they're coached well. And that offense has weapons. 2 number ones, a good running back. Thank you, Green Bay. Hawk's not a bad tight end, probably the second or third best in the division. They got a good team, man. So
you know what happened when another big in the past, a big receiver from Minnesota signed a contract. You know what he said, right? I only play when I want to play. So hopefully Justin Jefferson doesn't, have that kind of attitude. He goes out and tears shit up.
Well, I'm just wondering what his contract is going to mean, though, for Allen and DJ Moore next summer.
Yep.
Like, how much that's going to cost us. Because it's going to cost – it depends what CeeDee Lamb gets. What does T. Higgins get? And we talked about that in the morning. And, to me, T. Higgins is a 2. Keenan Allen's listed on the depth chart as a 3 now, as a slot guy. What do those guys make now? I mean, do both of them get top 5, top 10 money?
Well, CeeDee Lamb held out his 3-day mandatory minicamp, so we'll see what happens there.
But I mean, with CeeDee Lamb, though, at least the argument is there were times last year it was between him and JJ, right? Yep. So he's got an argument. But Keenan Allen's got to stay healthy, right? He's older. I don't think he commands $30 million. I think, like we said, 15 to 18. DJ Moore, though, I would be comfortable paying $30 million.
Yeah.
Considering it's not my money, I'm always comfortable.
Yeah, it's we'll see. If he has another breakout season like he did last year, I no doubt I would pay him. You don't have to worry about paying Justin Fields now, so
no.
Might as well give it to him.
Freed up $25 million right there. That's $25 million. I think the difference between him and Caleb is I think Caleb is to be $9 million next year. So it's a difference of about $14 million right there. That can go straight to DJ.
Yep.
Tevin probably won't be a $20 million guy. He'll be 10 to 12. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if we can keep this team together for 2-3 years. If we can, I think it's something special. Caleb is what they say he is, right? Which I know you don't believe necessarily, but if he is what they say he is, and if he wins you, I'll know it's good if he wins you over. If by week 4 or 5 he wins you over,
I'll admit it I was wrong.
Yeah,
if he comes out and has a great year and gets the team in the playoffs. So
at that point, it's going to get hard for us to keep the band together.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, week 1, the Titans, that'll be interesting. That's when all 17 games are winnable. And then we got Hard Knocks. How much of a distraction is Hard Knocks going to be, if any at all? Remember, Flus has experience with Hard Knocks. We have a couple guys who have experience with Hard Knocks. So at least we got some guys who have some experience with it. So it won't be a complete shock to guys who've never been on. They'll kind of know what to expect. I think because Flus has experience, they'll know how to prepare. I don't know. I mean, are you upset about the Hard Knocks thing? I know we talked about it last week, but
all I'm worried about is distraction. That's about it. That's all I'm worried about. You never know. The players, with the cameras on them, they might be tiptoeing. Hopefully, no injuries as well. But I'm more worried about the distraction.
Yoli's watching us right now, and she's watching Sonya from Prim and Proper on TV. But that's how dedicated Yoli is. She's got two shows on at once. Prim and Proper is not on Huddle right now, but on her other networks. That's awesome, Yoli. Yoli's looking for her own T-shirt line. I talked to Mike about that and coffee mugs. Look, she's got everyone at her school watching us now. But they're Bears fans, aren't they, Yoli? Are you in Illinois? Are they all Bears fans in your school, or they got other fan bases? We gotta get the Yoli Army T-shirts out and about. We gotta talk to Mike about that.
Yeah, Yoli, get me a T-shirt and I'll wear it for tailgate when I'm out there against the Patriots.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
But Hard Knocks, she's in Illinois. Okay, so she's in all her friends are yeah. So wait, you live in Illinois, all your friends are Bears fans, all your coworkers are Bear fans, your family are Bear fans. How the hell did you become a Packers fan? and what are you coming to Chicago for the Pats game, right?
November 10th.
on the Marine Corps' birthday.
Yep.
He will not be eating crayons, though, because he's not a Marine.
Hoorah.
Only the Marines will eat crayons. So remember, on the Patriots game, though, everyone needs to bring a box of Crayolas to give to their favorite Marines when they see the Marines in the crowd.
Yep.
So your dad took you to a game with your 8 brothers. Let me guess, they picked on you, therefore you took the Packers over the Bears? That's got to be it. It's the only logical reason I can have. Just to get back at your brothers and that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, my cousin's from Central Wisconsin. They're all diehard Packer fans, and she's a diehard Bears fan. So it happens. You know? And she was the youngest. Yep. And Yoli said, yep, that's what happened. I see.
Jeez.
I tell you, that's how it works, though. So Hard Knocks, we're trying to figure out a way to get Hard Knocks on our subscription side, by the way. So if you go to Mike the Bear Fan, we do have a subscription side, which is really cheap. And we're going to try, I think I figured out a way where we can do it. We'll do it like games. There'll be a specific time. We'll air it, and then they'll be gone kind of thing. So that'll be on the subscription side. Yoli's question to us is, what do you want your team to accomplish this season? Well, Woody, I'll let you start off with that one.
Playoffs, winning season. Anything below that is a failure with this lineup they have. That's my answer.
I would agree with Woody. Not to be to play Dan's part tonight. Who I hope, Dan, we hope you feel better. He had a bad fall, so that's why he's not on tonight. Also hope that Bear fan Mike is doing what better. He was in a drunk driver hit his car yesterday. He's okay. He's missing a few teeth, so we may not see him for a week or two as he heals. And then Mike the Bear fan, he's probably just on some roof somewhere doing his roofing thing. So that's where the rest of the guys are tonight. But yeah, I mean, for me, I want to see a winning season. I want to see Caleb have a good year, like 3,500 or even 4,000. Do something the Bears, really just break. I want this Bears team to break the mold of what the cycle has been in Chicago. I want this to be the team this year because I can't remember a single time in my Bears life, all 52 years of it almost, where I've been excited about the Bears off coming into a season. And we've been doing nothing but talk about the offense when we've got a top 5 defense, top 10, top 5. The team seems to think they're top 5, but we've got a phenomenal defense, a really, really good defense at worst, if you want to say, if you don't agree with top 5. But they are a really, really good defense. And all we're talking is about offense. I want this to be the year where we draft a quarterback that's the truth, that he is going to be the guy that's going to last more than 3 years, that we're going to have longevity at that position. I'm tired of seeing, look at for 30 years in Green Bay, we saw 2 guys. And they did Jordan Love. I applauded when they drafted him, and now it looks like they're going to have Jordan Love for the next 5, 6, 10 years, I want this team, this Bears team, to break that mold of that 3-year cycle. So in that, I'll say this now, so there's a receipt. Eberflus is not on the hot seat for me this year. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to get another year because that's part of breaking the cycle and what Ryan Poles is looking to do. I think, Flus is not on the hot seat. As long as they win 8, 9, 10 games, if they miss the playoffs but are close and they're competitive, or they make the playoffs, and that if they make the playoffs, Flus is obviously safe. But if they win 9 games and miss on week 17 or something like that, okay. But I think Flus is safe, and I want them to break the mold. Yeah, I hope all the teams are healthy this season too, because I hate being a team and then if I beat the Packers, but Jordan Love was injured. I
want to fucking say something about that. Yoli, you're too sweet to be a football fan to say that. But this is what I'm saying. For us to get that 4th round pick, Russell Wilson's going to have to get hurt.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields going to have to play 51%
or benched.
Yes. So I'll have to wish on maybe a 7, 8, maybe a 9 week, on the bench for an ankle sprain. Is that good enough?
Yeah, something like that. Or just he pisses Tomlin off.
Yep.
And Tomlin says, you know what? I don't need you. You're the league minimum. Get the hell out of here.
Absolutely.
But I mean, yeah, I think, Hutchinson's out. That's the only reason you beat us. I hate when, because it's always, you only beat us because someone was injured. Okay. So I hope week 11, the Bears and Packers are healthy when we go and we beat you. And then when we beat you in week 17,
I just
I
want
don't,
I just want. We'll start with one.
yeah,
I just want to split at least.
Well,
If
look,
we
I
can't-
watched
like I
Frozen
said-
Tundra.
like I said, if we can't beat, like you were right. These teams that we're playing is very beatable.
Yeah.
But we got to concentrate more on the Green Bay. We haven't beat them the last, I don't know, 7 years maybe. No, not 7 years.
But Yoli knows where I'm coming from, because if you listen to those guys on Frozen Tundra, we're going to sweep the Bears. The Bears suck. Blah 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 all the time. Okay, so the best team should win. I agree. I mean, we're with you, Yoli. I'm gonna just take a page from Nick's book and say, look, I've already said I don't think anyone in the North is getting swept, but you know what? Wouldn't it be great to sweep the Packers this year? There's a Packer fan. There's Jason. 10 games. Yeah, we get it. 10 games, 5 years in the past. This is a different team, man. Both of them are different teams. The Chicago organization is a lot different now than it was even last year. I think I said initially that they'll keep home serve, and having 6 of your last 8 in division, it's hard to sweep anyone that close together. If we played week 1, week 18, your chances are better. But playing in 11 and 18, it's a little bit harder because they're still seeing each other relatively close. Now that is the biggest gap, though, is the Bears Packers in that it's game 1 and game 8. The Vikings and the Lions, you play closer together between their games, like there's a game in between kind of thing. And it depends on what, like week 18. Are the Packers playing for anything? Are the Bears playing for anything? That's going to make a difference too. And unfortunately, that'll become, you only beat us because we weren't playing.
Okay.
I don't want to hear that crap.
And we beefed up our team everywhere because our newly drafted punter is kicking 70-yard punts.
That's insane.
So
we basically have the same schedule. Like the only thing different is with the NFC divisions where we don't play the whole division, you're playing the second place team and we're playing the fourth place team. That's the difference in the schedule.
So Green Bay has the 4th hardest schedule, and we have the 3rd weakest schedule, if that helps anybody.
Yeah,
out.
but I mean, like, from the East, they're playing the Eagles. Who are we playing? Well, Dallas is playing against Detroit. So were the Giants in last place in the division last year?
Washington, wasn't they?
No, Washington. So we get Washington. That's one game that's different.
Yeah.
And then we all get the West. And then the South, you guys are probably getting Atlanta, I think. And we are getting Carolina.
No, we don't play the Sheagles this year, but Yoli, please fucking beat them.
Yeah. So I mean, let's see what's Bears will be getting past the Lions this year twice. Vikings, you should have 2. I think we will make you work for both games. I mean, the problem is so here's the deal with the Lions and the Vikes, right? Like I think we get the Lions on Thanksgiving, then we get I think San Francisco, then the Vikings and the Lions, then the Cardinals, then the Vikings, then Green Bay, something like that is how it goes. So they're pretty close together. I mean, look at the Bears really should have swept the Lions last year, but it's when they're that close together, it's really hard to sweep them. It's really hard. I mean, it can be done. I'm not saying it can't be done, but the odds are a lot harder.
I did pick Detroit to break their Thanksgiving streak by beating us on Thanksgiving.
Well, and they say, well, we win every 7 years, and this is year 7. So they're using that voodoo too. Yoli says, I'm going to be doing a tribute to my brother. Her brother passed away. He was a police officer. I have to drive his car to Ohio to my nephew. He has been a Chicago Bear car that he made, so it'll be the anniversary. Wow. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Yoli.
Sorry, I was Yoli. I was a police officer at one time too, as well. But sorry about that.
Yeah. Look, there's your three there, Woody. Goes in threes.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that's the three. I mean, and Yoli, the reason I say that is because, as you guys know, Woody's father passed away 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
There was another death I won't go into today. So maybe that's the three, and then we're done.
Yeah.
So hopefully no one else. So she said he has a Chicago Bear car he made, and I'll be showing it to you. Oh, send us pictures, Yoli, for sure.
Yep. Thank you, Yoli. Yeah, it's been a rough year so far, but my dad's not suffering anymore. He's been fighting for the last 23 years. But his legacy lives on. He's actually, his ashes are right in front of my TV, so we get to watch every Yankee game together.
Now, are you gonna take some of those to AT&T and some of the Yankee Forum?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be wearing his Tony Romo jersey too during Cowboy games.
So, there you go. And Woody says, "We are here for you. We love you."
Yoli, I never blushed before, but I'm starting to now.
So it's it's been a rough year. Hopefully, it gets better for everyone. Hopefully, this is a good season. Hopefully, we don't have any big injuries. Hopefully, there isn't too much drama. But we know it's the NFL. Of course, there's going to be drama. Of course, there's going to be injuries. There should be some interesting storylines. The NFC North is going to be interesting. A lot of the North is at the end of the year. I think the Packers get a game or two early, a North Division game early. I think they get the Lions early and they get the Vikings early for their first meeting. And they got us 8 weeks apart. So they got. I think that favors them within the division a little bit. I'm not.
Like I said before, I think still the Lions and Packers are going to be fighting for this division. I think we'll be in a solid third, but that's just me. I don't know anything.
I mean, look, I think it's hard based off last season not to say that, Woody. So I see how you get there. Look at Yoli's like, nobody likes the Barney. Everybody knows it. Yeah, because she calls Viking fans Barneys. But everyone's overlooking the Vikings, who still have a very, very good team overall. Their quarterback is questionable, but if Sam Darnold can be decent, they're going to win a truckload of games with that defense and that offensive star power they got.
And I think Aaron Jones is going to be on a mission when he plays Green Bay. So watch.
Oh yeah. He kills this division, and now he's got Packer fans like in the morning show. Oh, well, he won't be healthy anyways. Only 6 games last year. Like that's all he's going to play. It's like, dude, he could still play all 17 games this year. Just because he was hurt last year doesn't mean,
running back.
Running back, yeah, doesn't mean he's going to be hurt this year. I mean, the two teams that really are set up for the biggest falls this year are Green Bay and Detroit. I hate to say it that way. I'm not trying to be a homer, but Detroit really didn't do much to change. Green Bay. The morning guys seem to think this receiver by committee is so good and impervious that it's going to keep working like it did last year. They think that changing their defensive scheme isn't going to affect them, but these things aren't true. These things aren't true. The Packer defense, Jason, is going to still be ranked 25th or worse for the first half of the season as they transition. I think they're going from 4-3 to 3-4 or vice versa, whatever. That transition takes at least a season to get the results. It'll help with your run defense a little bit, but your pass defense and pass rush will now suffer some for when you're in your base. When you're not in the base, there's not going to be much of a change. But your defense is not going to be that good this year compared to what some Packer fans think it's going to be.
Yep.
And the Lions, I'm sorry, a rookie doesn't solve your secondary issues.
No.
Not against these receivers.
Plus, even though Gardner Johnson was hurt last year, he's back on the Sheagles, so you're losing him, another great cornerback.
Yeah. I mean, you've got third down Brown, but after that, J-Mo is not the answer yet in Detroit.
and Raymond. I think the best receivers are you have to keep healthy is St. Brown and Laporta. If either one of them get injured, you're screwed. Detroit is screwed.
And for Green Bay, I mean, look at the no-name receiver committee work last year. But look at let's be real for Kirk. This is like make or break for him. Yeah. For a couple Dobbs, same thing, make or break for him. I mean, yeah, he's great for sneaky little touchdowns on great designs by his head coach, but yeah, Jason, a full season. If every year that's changed your defensive scheme has taken at least a season to somewhere between a season to two. In some cases, a season and a half.
Yeah, we also, we also in a rebuild year last year. Okay.
Yeah, but your defensive scheme didn't change last year, Jason. It is this year.
Yeah, you drafted defense. So yeah, that's going to fall this year, but maybe next year you might be good, your defense, but you can't have a rookie cornerback covering DJ Moore. You're going to get screwed every time.
This is what I'm talking about with some Packer fans. Oh, they're going to be something to reckon with. No, they're not, Jason. Not when they changed their scheme. I think they were a 3-4-3. Now they're going to a 3-4, which they're flipping. That's at least a year, dude, for that scheme to take hold. Every team that's changed, their defense suffered for at least one season. Jason's sitting there telling us, well, that's not the case. We're going to be a defense you're going to have to reckon with. No, you're not special. You're not different than every other team in the NFL. Well, because we're Green Bay. Who cares?
So I want to ask Jason a question. Since Green Bay's offense is young and they won a playoff game and they rebuilt their defense, are Green Bay going to sweep the Bears this year? Jason, please answer that question.
And also, what's your win total for the year going to be? I'll add that on with that vaunted defense of you guys that you have. I'm sure Yoli's sitting back laughing, just waiting for the answer.
Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer.
Yeah. Wait. You know what? Wait. While he does that, let me play special music just for him. Here we go.
More music.
Yep. They're going to sweep. Now, what's your record going to be, Jason?
Homer, right there.
Let's see what Jason says their record's going to be. I will give him one more spin to come up with the record. But he thinks they're sweeping the Bears. So he probably thinks they're sweeping the division. I don't know. Dumbass. Sorry, Jason. I had to do it. You got the John.
He's going.
You got. Yeah, you got the John Dorn. Oh, he says 11-6.
All right.
I mean, I don't see 11, but okay. I don't think that defense is going to be as good as you think they are, Jason. Your offense is good. You have look at your head coach, who's also your OC, maximized his players' abilities last year, and he gave a masterclass. He really did. I'm giving him credit. I mean, he put those guys in the positions to do good things more times than not, and it showed.
Here's another question I have for Jason too. Another one. Sorry, Ken.
Don't go for it.
The new addition, Josh Jacobs, is he going to have 1,000 yards this year?
And while Jason answers that, the problem is now we've got a full year of tape on what LaFleur does. We got a full year of tape on the receiver by committee. We got a full year of tape on Love under this offense. So defenses are going to adjust early on it, and that's to see what adjustments LaFleur and Love make game 3, game 4, game 8 of the season. And while we wait for Jason to respond on how many yards Josh Jacobs has at the running back position, I think it was like he says yes, he will.
Jesus Christ!
Jason, not in this division.
Jason, how old are you? Please, how old are you?
Ooh, are we taking an over/under on that one?
My goodness, I say he's 30 years old, 30, 31.
I'll give him maybe 35. So all he remembers is Aaron Rodgers. He'll be like Mike, and that wasn't alive for the '85 Bears.
Why is the text messaging popping up again?
But I mean, that's just. But you know what? Though, look, can you blame Packer fans who are in their 20s, early, 30s, even maybe 40 years old? They don't know anything. They don't remember anything but Favre, Rodgers. So for them, this is foreign territory. So they think it's just going to be the same as it always has been. But it's obviously not when you look at this division. I haven't seen the division be this good coming into a season, maybe the 90s.
Yep. Because we're always talking about the Bears defense.
Yeah. Been all defense, no offense. Then we finally got our offense. Our defense was the worst in the league.
He's 50 years old.
50. So he's already Gen Xer. I mean, dude, you lost you lost your right guard. Bakhtiari, I don't count the loss. He played one game last year. But dude, you're playing against the number 1 and number 2 run defenses in the NFL or in the NFC North from last year. And then there's Minnesota. So maybe outside the division, you might be thinking that, but not in the division. And by the way, when we played Josh Jacobs last year, we stuffed them. Mm-hmm. And so Detroit. So I don't know if he's going to get 1,000 yards, maybe 1,000 all-purpose between running and receiving. But I wouldn't count on Dylan to be much of anything for you back there this year. I think he was kind of a pity sign, like we got to sign someone. Wow. I mean, I like Zach Tom on their offensive line. He's a left guard. I've met the guy. He's a good guy. He's intelligent. He's a good player. They've got some talent, but
I mean, I don't argue the 11-6 record. Not at all. Because I think it's possible. Because I said that they'll be fighting for Detroit for the division. I'm not arguing the record at all. But you said before that you're going to be the 2 games against Chicago. There's going to be a fight for it, but you just said they're going to sweep them. So obviously, it might not be a fight then.
Yeah, I don't see the Bears getting swept by anyone in the division this year. I don't see the Bears sweeping anyone in the division either.
Nope. Maybe Minnesota. That's it.
But yeah, it depends on the quarterback situation. With Green Bay, it depends on the defense. I think Jason doesn't understand that the defense is going to take a step back before it takes a step forward with this transition. And it's not like we haven't seen this before as teams transition. This is what happens all the time. But Packer fans seem to be impervious to what happens to the rest of the league, so they think. But I don't know. I mean, they're going to be a good team offensively. I think Jordan Love had a great year last year. I don't envy Gutekunst because he's got to make a long-term, big money decision based off of 1 year of play, a data set of 1. So for their sake, I hope Jordan Love is not a bust. I don't think he's going to be a bust. But, dude, you're going to be paying a guy $50 million a year over the next 4 or 5 years based off 1 year. That's a little scary for Gutekunst, but Gutekunst has no choice. Right? He has no choice in the matter. I mean, what else are they going to do? So they have no choice. They're going to have to pay Love after last year, that money. And that was part of the risk they took when they did the extension the way they did it. But that defense is going to suffer. And let's hope LaFleur for them does something different because I think the book is out on that receiver by committee. And on that offense a little bit, teams are going to be better prepared for it this year. I mean, of course you're going to beat Dallas. You guys beating Dallas in the playoffs is like San Francisco beating you in the playoffs. It just happens. It just happens. That's going to be interesting. Detroit, though, they got a hard schedule. They get all the first place teams, and they get this division. I could see them not winning 13, maybe being closer to 11. So I mean, Green Bay is at 11. The Lions are near 11. The Bears 9 to 10. I mean, it could be anyone's division. The Vikings, I think, we're all sleeping on to a degree because we just so keyed in on their quarterback situation. All right, here's what he's got. 11-6, 10-7, 9-8, 8-9. I think it's the other way around. I think Jordan Love and company will have the defense. I think Jordan will protect the defense if he can stay on the field. So the defense isn't stopping much this year, as you think. I think it's more that Jordan's going to keep the defense off the field, and that's what's going to help mitigate your pain. But if he can't break out of this pinned inside his own 23 and out syndrome, Jason, you're going to have a rough time with that defense because they're just going to get wore out. If teams can put Green Bay within the, pin them within the 20 on punts, dude, last year you guys were absolutely horrid at that stat line. So if that doesn't get fixed, you could have a long year on defense.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to be real. I'm not trying to even be all about it.
And I said the Packers and Detroit's going to fight for that. I did say the Bears would be 10-7, but I'm thinking the Packers and Lions are going to be fighting for that division.
The Lions at 9-8. I mean, they got to play San Francisco. They got to play Dallas. They play Tampa. I mean, that's 3 hard games they've got there. They got the division. That's going to be hard. But you should be confident because the Packers have won a lot. So I get the confidence, Jason. I do get the confidence. I think Woody gets it too. We both get it.
They're not used to losing.
Yeah, so we get it. And until it happens on the field, I get why Packer fans are like, we'll be fine. But I think they need to brace for impact at the same time. And Jason, I'm not trying to be a homer about it. I think you need to somewhat brace for impact that you might not have the defense you think you had, that you could end up at 8-9 yourselves very easily this year.
That's why they play the game.
Yeah, why we play the game. Don't worry about on paper, dude, this division stacked.
Yep.
We got the best wide receivers in the league. We got some of the best running backs in the league. Some of the best corners in the league.
Highest paid receiver in the league.
We got some defensive edges in this league, in this division. Some linebackers. We got defenses in this division. We got offenses in this division. And the question is, which ones are the most complete? And that's where the argument's going to be fun. It's going to be Chicago. Is it going to be Detroit? Is it Green Bay? I think Minnesota, we can probably say no because of the quarterback situation. But if J.J. McCarthy becomes the truth,
yep.
What do you think, Woody?
Well, like I said, Sam Darnold just has to be good or, for them to succeed. But like I said, all the Bears fans, we got to see what Caleb Williams got to prove it. OTAs, minicamp doesn't do shit for me, but it does say a lot in the OTAs and minicamp. So
I do like that he's pushing. I like that he's pushing his limits to see what they are. I do like he's not being conservative. He's just throwing it out there and letting it happen and seeing what he can and can't do. There's nothing worse when you get a rookie quarterback who tries to be conservative so that he makes all the right throws and everyone's like, oh my God, look how good he is. I am much happier. I'm sure Packer fans would be much happier if Jordan Love's out there testing it and the defense picks him off 8 times. I'd be happy because he's pushing his limits to see what they are.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And it's always Lombardi. And I think if you make the playoffs, if you think you're a playoff team, then you're legitimately a Lombardi chasing team, right? So I think all 4 teams in this division are Super Bowl contenders on one level or another. Now, what their odds are, I can't tell you. But I think all 4 teams have a legit argument to say they're Super Bowl contenders. I will say, though, that the Vikings have the worst case of the 4 because we don't know if Sam Darnold's going to be any good or if he's going to suck. And we don't know if J.J. McCarthy, if he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. Because of all the rookies, he's the most debatable, I think.
Yep. Well, Penix. Penix, I'm a little.
Yeah, I'm a little on Penix because he got bailed out a lot by Adunze.
Yep.
In college ball, so that's a good point. But though with Penix, though, he he's probably not going to sniff the field unless Cousins gets hurt or can't go.
I mean, he's a good. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback too, even though he hasn't won a Super Bowl
or a playoff.
Either did Dan Marino, but he's a good quarterback to sit behind and watch.
Is Kirk Cousins a Hall of Famer, you think?
Wow. For right now, I don't think so.
He's a tough one.
Yeah,
I think he's on the bubble. He's on the bubble without a ring. Well, that's like is Dak Prescott. I mean, another guy with impressive career numbers.
I would say no for him
either.
either.
I think Prescott's Romo Cutler 2.0.
I think Kirk Cousins will get in before Dak. Yeah.
Because if you look at Romo and Cutler, their numbers are both better than Dan Marino. Career stat lines are better. You know, but they don't have the playoff wins or Super Bowl appearance.
Different league back then than it is now.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Atlanta's got a team that can definitely get to the playoffs this year. They're fighting for that division with Tampa. That's gonna be a good Cousins.
If Kirk Cousins uses Kyle Pitts in the right way, that team's going to be a reckon with. Plus Bijan Johnson behind them.
Yeah. I tell you, I look at the depth in the North. I think at running back, I think we're the deepest. But Detroit might have the best running back room.
Jason, what about me? I mean, what the fuck? Can I have a good night too? Jesus.
I'm not. Hey, have a good night, Jason. Yeah, we're about out of time too. But hey, I'm not counting the pack out. But yeah, what about Woody, man? I know Woody. Man. What?
Jesus Christ! And I don't have an opinion about anything.
Yeah, I know, of course. Woody's obviously oblivious to all of it. He has no care. Yeah, so we got about 96, 97 days of football to kick off. So it's getting close. We're getting there. We got some OTAs left. Camp is going to start. Oh, there you go. See, he showed you some love there.
Good night, Jason.
Have a good one, Jason. I think for the Bears, it just hinges on how good Caleb is. Point blank. Dorn says he's the bust, but that's
if he's good, like I said, I'll admit it. But I don't know, man.
I just love that off-platform throw. They put the video out on that little jump shot pass he threw. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a fun season. If he's doing off-platform stuff, it's going to be a fun season. And it's going to be interesting because, that's where his excitement is going to be, not like Justin running the ball. And he can run the ball, too. Don't get me wrong. Caleb can run the ball, but
during the hard knocks, too, there's going to be a lot of criticism if he gets interceptions, fumbles and stuff. Oh, yeah, it's going to just get ready for it.
Yeah, I don't know if the microscope on him during Hard Knocks is a good thing or a bad thing, but in a way, these guys coming from these big schools are built a little different with that. They're used to the constant attention. He's not like he came from Western Kentucky or something like that. I mean, SC is a big school with he had tons of attention on him with the Heisman and everything else. So I don't know. Well, Woody, I hope everything gets better, brother.
Thank you.
And thank you for being on with me tonight. I hope the rest of our team gets better, heals up. We'll be back tomorrow morning for Ken and Ken in the morning at 10 Central, 11 Eastern, and we'll be back here for Halas Hall Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. Until then, for Woody and myself, bear down and have a great night.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B, Around the Indoor Football World, Shield TV, and The Big Football Show. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla Hour, Brosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, Bodkin Show, and Spirit of Detroit Podcast. The nightly podcasts are Halas Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Wrestling Roundup, Skull Gang 365, First and 10 with Foz, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballin' Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, 313 Den Podcast, Puckett, The Guys Huddle, Main Event Football Show, Let's Talk Sports, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, and Off the Rails. Hope you enjoy all the shows and feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe.